Hi Aries, this is going to be your guys' reading for the collective of Aries. Please keep in mind that this is a general reading and this is not going to resonate for every single Aries out there. Feel free to check any of your other placements for they actually might resonate more than this. So let's get into it here. What is happening for the collective of Aries at this time? What is happening for the collective of Aries at this time? And if any of you guys are interested in my friend's shop, Light Minded, she sells candles, bath bombs, and soaps. She uses high quality ingredients, as well as they're all handcrafted, made with love and care, of course. And everything that she has very unique senses. I love all of her fragrances. They're amazing. And honestly, she works very hard on all of her products. And yeah, if you guys would like to support her or support me as well, please check it out. The link will be listed down below in the description box, as well as a promo code that gives you free shipping above anything that's $50 and up in purchase. But yeah, check it out, you guys. Thank you. So let's see what's going on for my Aries. Okay. This is very positive so far here, Aries. I'm really excited to do this reading. Let's see what's happening. So, Aries. Right now, a lot of you guys are, it's almost like this is the thing. I'm getting like the song It's a Small World After All. I don't know why it popped in my head, but I feel like for a lot of you guys it's almost like maybe you're running into somebody that you used to know, like in high school or in college, or old friends or old people, right? I don't know, or you're knowing people that knew where you lived or something weird like that. But for a lot of you guys, what's going on in your life is that you guys have been, it almost feels like there has been like this touch and go with finances. There's been this touch and go with your life getting started, but you're starting to put yourself out there. There's something about you guys becoming world known or becoming known in your community, or it's almost just like, okay, there's like you guys are just becoming known, whether that's online, whether that's in the community, or even like just in your family. You guys finally decided to let something go, because I do get the feeling that some of my Aries here, you guys have been juggling something that it's almost like you knew that it wasn't making you happy, but you also knew that it really wasn't serving you, or that you know what it's like when we do something and we feel like we have to do it, and then when we do the math, we're like, oh, this is actually very time consuming, this is kind of a waste, this isn't really serving me. It was something weird like that, whether you realize like, oh, I shouldn't do this extra job, or I shouldn't do this or that because it's not really serving me. There's something about you guys freeing up some time or freeing up some kind of resource. So you guys are no longer working hard to work hard. You're kind of almost playing it smart. It's almost like you're almost changing and shifting the paradigm of I have to work hard for my money, or I have to work hard to gain something. And instead you guys are starting to finally like step into your actual power here, where you're realizing like, you know what? I am enough. I can do this. This is what I need. This is what I want. And I also feel like here, Sag, is that Sag. Sorry, I just got done doing Sag. But Aries, I feel like you guys are finally finding people that are going to be able to help you. There's something here about you running into somebody, or you finding somebody that's going to help you get started. Maybe in the past here, you worked way too hard on something and it just wasn't happening. You were saving, or you were trying to, it's almost like you were working really hard but going nowhere. And it felt like you were just working so hard and not gaining anything in return. So there was something about you guys trying to work on your investments. And it's almost like no matter how hard you put in that effort, no matter how much you've tried to evolve, there was something missing. There was something that wasn't working for you here, Aries. And it was almost like this sense of frustration. But it's almost like, I don't know if this is a lover. This could be, your spouse or somebody, but there's somebody in your life here that's going to say, oh, Aries, I met this person, or I know this person, and it's going to help you guys finally get to where you want to go. So it's almost like you guys have worked really hard on something. You've worked really hard to get somewhere, and it's almost like someone or something comes in and interferes, and it changes the whole game. Now you gain the clarity. Now you're starting to finally be able to move. Granted, you were like that Prince of Discs, right? You were like the Knight of Pentacles, working your butt off but going nowhere. And then maybe you're like that Queen of Pentacles but still going nowhere. And now you're like the Princess, right? The Page of Discs, but now you're going to go somewhere. So it's almost like maybe you had to start from the ground up. Maybe you had to start from square one again, but this is what's going to work this time. So, it's like I believe Einstein has said this, but it's like doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is considered insanity. And it's almost like maybe that's what you were doing. Maybe you're doing the same thing over and over and over again and getting nowhere, getting no results, to somebody comes in, something happens, and it's almost like you're going to get advice from somebody, or you're going to just get help from somebody. There's like somebody in your life here that's going to be like, oh my gosh, Aries, I have the key to what you've been stressing about this whole time, what you've been beating your head across this whole time. And it's like, but you got to learn from the ground up. So this is very positive because it almost just feels like you guys are finally going to be able to move forward without much stress anymore. So it's almost like because you didn't give up, Aries, because you kept going even when you saw no results, all of a sudden something comes in and changes the game. And all of a sudden you're just like, I understand now. My whole world is open. Like your whole world just becomes open. So yeah, this is a very positive because I feel like you guys have been working really hard. Again, moving forward. You guys are moving forward, and in the past, nothing was changing, nothing was happening, but you guys are finally moving on, moving forward, moving to where you need to go. Yeah. Finally gaining that clarity when once you've lost the clarity, now things are going to start moving forward because the 8 of Wands is a very fast, rapid movement. And I feel like now that's what's going to happen. So you sitting here grinding your gears, maybe like you're on the same thing, right? You're just like trying to get unstuck out of the mud, but all you're doing is digging yourself deeper into the rut. And then all of a sudden something comes in and has a shovel or has a solution and you're like out. And now you can move forward and things are going to just start speeding up for you guys. Finally, this determination, because you were so dedicated to whatever this is, Aries, that now it's finally coming in. And maybe it required you to walk away from something emotionally. Maybe you guys were very invested in something that wasn't working for you, and it's like somebody comes in and then they change the way you perceive it, they change the way that you view it, and now you're able to walk away from this whatever this is that kept you guys so stuck, because there was this sense of disappointment. And now with that 5 of Discs, now you don't feel so alone. Maybe you felt alone doing this project or whatever this is that you were doing here, Aries, because again, it's going to resonate for every Aries differently. There's something that you guys were doing that you saw no results on. You were getting frustrated. You even at one point decided maybe I should just quit. But because you just kept going, you kept having the determination, all of a sudden you're having people, because I feel like there's somebody coming in and they're just they're just changing everything for you. They're helping you. They're taking off some of this burden that you've been carrying. So now you don't feel so alone. Now you don't feel so isolated. Now you feel like you have help. And all of a sudden, this is going to bring you so much more emotional fulfillment, because not only did you walk away from this fear of maybe having to do things alone. I think what was keeping you guys stuck here, Aries, is this, no, I can do this alone. No, I can have this. I know what I'm doing. And it's almost like somebody comes in and they humble you. They say, no, Aries, I know how to do this. Let me help you. Let me take this burden off of you. And all of a sudden, it's just like everything makes sense for you. Things are going more in flow. You're starting to feel happier. You're realizing that you're gaining more stability. And it almost feels too like this is something money related, because maybe you've worked really hard to get to where you are, and it's almost like now it's finally going to pay off for you, and you're going to feel so much more abundant and so much better off because of this. And it's almost like you learned a lot from this, right? You learned a lot from whatever this past tower moment was. You learned a lot from this experience. It's almost like you're still glad that you went through the frustration. You're glad that you didn't give up. You're glad that you did have that experience, because in the end of the day, it did teach you a very valuable lesson, but it also kind of, again, helped you guys progress forward into a new beginning. So you're stepping out of this old way of doing something and stepping into a new way of doing something here, Aries. And this is going to be a major game changer. Like, you guys are really evolving and really changing. And it's just like everything starts to make more sense to you. You guys are going to start being able to be more fulfilled. Yeah, you guys are starting to get more committed to what this is. Things are starting to finally flow in your favor. And again, there is this sense of you guys having a better way of viewing it now. Your judgment on the situation has changed. The way you perceived a certain situation has changed. And it's almost like everything is just coming in and working in your favor. Things are finally starting to shift. Things are finally starting to move in for you, and you're not so stuck on like I said, one way of doing something or one way of thinking about something. It's finally going to evolve you. And again, that Ace of Discs, you guys are finally starting to, there is this sense of achievement that I feel. You guys are going to feel this sense of achievement, like, I did do this. I did make this happen. I did put this work in. And it's going to like boost your self-esteem. It's going to boost your confidence, Aries. You're going to feel like you finally did something right, and it's just going to make your life so much easier. Things are going to move in so much smoother for you. Yeah, maybe you guys were attached to things that were just not serving you down the line. Like you guys, maybe you did the same thing, like I said, over and over and over again and expecting different results. And it's like somebody comes in or such a situation happens and it just changes things for you. But it's almost like it had to happen in the way that it did in order for you guys to see things in a better light. Because maybe, again, this feels like a mindset. There was something you were not seeing. There was something you were not viewing it correctly. And it's like now you're starting to see things for what they are. Now you're starting to gain a better picture. It's like maybe you were looking at the details, right? So like maybe Aries, you were just so fixated on the details of, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. And then someone comes over and taps you on the shoulder and is like, hey, Aries, maybe you should zoom out more. Maybe you need to look at the bigger picture instead of the little picture, and that might, help you open up more. So it's like you went from zoomed in, staring into the details, only looking at certain problems, to somebody's like, hey, maybe you should look at the whole thing as a whole instead of just fixating on one or two problems. And it just like opens up your world. And if this isn't people, right? Say if this isn't a person that comes into your reality that shifts this is just something this could be like someone on a video even, right? This doesn't have to be somebody that you know. This could be like a video that you've watched. This could be a book that you read. This could be like you happen to just overhear somebody having a conversation with someone. But there's like some kind of idea, something shifts in your life and it gets you guys unstuck. It gets you guys out of the mud and it moves you forward with that chariot. You're moving forward. And there's almost like this sense of like, because you were in this state of constantly trying to get out of like, say, stuck out of the mud, and you just kept like grinding your wheels against the ground to the point where it makes like a divot, and finally you get out of it. It's almost like it's just going to propel you forward so fast it almost scares you. You're like, whoa, I didn't mean to go that quickly. I didn't realize, how fast everything moves now. Yeah, see, I think you guys were dwelling on something that wasn't working out, something that wasn't happening. There was something that was unstable with your finances or with like a job or with something in your life here, Aries, and you couldn't detach from it emotionally. And then you finally detach from it emotionally, and then it's like all of a sudden you can just move forward with no issue, no problem. But it was because you were so fixated on this detail or on this one specific problem, it was just keeping you guys stuck. And you just didn't feel like you could move forward. But now you're seeing it. Maybe you missed it, right? Maybe there was signs coming to you and maybe you just like glossed over it, or you didn't realize that this was a sign or that this was a solution because you were so focused on something that wasn't going right. And it's like now you're seeing it, now you're not missing it. And there's also the sense of not hesitating. It's almost like the second that you figure this out, you're not resting, you're not thinking about it, you're on your way to it. It's like you are starting this new beginning, and this is bringing you that Ace of Discs. It's finally coming in. You're finally going to reap the rewards that you deserve, Aries, because you've worked so hard. You were so dedicated on this, and now you're starting to see things for what they are. You're finally starting to gain what you wanted, but it was just because you needed to work through this emotional distress, and it was something about the way you perceived a situation and how narrow-minded you were viewing a situation, right? It's like you weren't seeing the bigger picture. You couldn't tell the forest from the trees, and now you zoomed way out. Now you can see that there was this huge forest, but all you were focusing on was this one little tree or this one little issue, and now you're finally seeing it. So there's something about you guys finally moving forward, but it required you guys to actually gain some kind of insight. So you guys have worked very hard, Aries, and anything that is coming to you, you deserve, you've earned. So there's something here about you guys putting in that effort, putting in that hard work, and you deserving this. This is going to bring you guys a lot more happiness because this wasn't just handed to you. You worked for it. You had to figure out, it's almost like you had a million mistakes, and those little mistakes that you've made, Aries, only taught you lessons, only made you stronger, and only like up-leveled you mentally. So now you're a lot more emotional, you're a lot happier, you're a lot more content with this situation, and you're finally seeing things for what they are with that High Priestess. You're finally seeing things from a higher perspective, from a bigger image, instead of from this little tiny pinhole, narrow way of viewing it. It's like you were looking, it's almost like you were looking through a peephole, right? Like a keyhole, and you can only see so much in the room, but then when you open up the door, you're like, oh, I can see everything now. So it's kind of feels like that. And now you're finally gaining that higher insight, you're gaining that higher perspective because you worked so hard and you stuck to your guns and you kept being dedicated, and because of that you got breakthrough, and this breakthrough is going to be very beneficial for you in the long run, as well as this is not like a temporary thing. I feel like this is something that's going to serve you in the long run. All right, so this is really positive, Aries. I'm really happy. Let's pull a card here for the closing messages. Let's see what is my Aries healing at this time. What have you guys been working on and healing and moving through? But yeah, it's like finally things are going to start making sense for you. Finally things are going to start moving in your favor. No longer feeling so stressed or feeling like you just can't do it. And I just feel like for a lot of you guys, this is just opening up a whole new avenue for you guys. I feel like things in your life is going to start improving for you. Your intuition is becoming heightened at this time. You're starting to gain a higher insight in your intuition. Like I said, with that high priestess at the bottom of the deck, you guys are finally going to start opening up and seeing things, like I said, in a whole new way, in a different perspective than you once did, which was keeping you guys stuck. Now you guys are going to be able to move forward because of that. So there's something about your intuition, trusting yourself, gaining more awareness about your surroundings or about a particular situation. And this is going to inspire you. This is actually going to help you guys, because I almost feel like for a while, some of you guys are starting to give up hope. You're starting to lose your spirit in this situation. And now that things are finally starting to move in your favor here, Aries, it's almost like you guys are starting to get those ideas, that spark, that inspiration. You guys are finally going to start being able to manifest things that you want in your life, and you're going to have more energy to go after what you want because of that inspiration. So write down your ideas, because you guys might be getting downloads from your crown, right? I feel like your crown chakra and your third eye are very prevalent. You guys might be getting downloads from the divine on how to keep proceeding forward. So it's like, even though you get this insight of like, oh my gosh, I just realized this is how I can evolve and change and things start moving in your life, there's going to keep being more downloads. There's going to keep being more information coming to you that's going to benefit you further down the line. So it's like, be consciously aware of that. And a lot of you guys are taking action. Right? You're not staying stuck anymore. You're moving forward. You're going after what you want. You're no longer keeping yourself in the same spot that you once did. And I feel like because of that, Aries, not only are you kind of like, because I kind of get the sense too that people around you watched you struggle, people around you saw you struggling, and it's like all of a sudden you're going to have this breakthrough. You're going to be able to move forward. And not only are you going to be moving forward and having a happier experience, but also you're inspiring other people to do the same. You're making other people question their own lives, and making other people around you be like, wow, if Aries can do it, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can do that. I've been putting this off for a while. Maybe I should start doing this. So it's like you're not only inspiring other people, Aries, but you're also helping them without even realizing it, just because of the actions that you're taking, because you didn't give up, because you kept moving forward, you kept motivating yourself when no one else did, and you got yourself out of a terrible situation or out of a just a hard place to be in. You literally had self-discipline. You disciplined yourself to gain where you are, which is very inspirational. And I think you guys need to know that, because unfortunately people don't really tell us that most of the time when they're inspired by us, which I wish they would. I wish people were more open and honest, but if nobody around you is telling you how inspiring you are, Aries, I'm here to let you know you're inspiring. But also we have that the solar plexus chakra, and that's the major key that I'm seeing that's being healed at this time, is your self-confidence, gaining self-respect, gaining self-confidence, having that determination, as well as actually maybe setting boundaries with yourself, right? Because in order for us to be disciplined, in order for us to keep going after something, even when we don't see the results right away, that requires strength, that requires self-discipline, that requires trust in self. And that's what you guys did. And you worked your butt off here, Aries, to get to where you're going and to get to where you're going to be. And I feel like this has exercised that sacral chakra to where you're finally starting to find more confidence in yourself, being more aware of who you are, what you have to bring to the table. Like, you are starting to develop a sense of self in a better, more positive light, which again is going to serve you down the line. We also have at the bottom of the deck here, seeing. So you guys are changing your perspectives. You guys are seeing the truth about a situation. And like I said, it's like gaining clarity about something that kept you stuck. And it was something that you walked away from on an emotional level that gained you that clarity, that helped you see things from a different perspective. And because of that, it's like you guys have, I'm getting heavily here opening up your third eye. So your third eye and your solar plexus chakra that are the most activated and what's healing the most right now. Because you guys have put in that work. You're seeing things from a different perspective. You're seeing things from a higher perspective. perspective. And because of that, it's going to help you reap the rewards that you've been deserving. So yeah, a lot of you guys, your intuition, your psychic ability is heightening at this time. You guys are going to start noticing things moving finally in your life, like maybe I feel like heavy on money. Something here about your guys' finances finally starting to move in the direction that you wanted it to, finally starting to see things in your life shift and change. And it feels more like an external thing changing now around you. Maybe you're getting a promotion in your job, or you're making more income, making more money, or like you're moving. There's things in your life that are changing, and it's because you let go of certain things. It's because you're seeing things from a different perspective now, and you guys are finally changing parts of your life that you've been working so hard to change. So that's what I have for my Aries. I hope that this resonates for you guys and helps you in some way. Have a great and wonderful day, Aries. Thank you. Bye.